Dad, you shouldn't be jealous of Apu. Remember, it's all about the music.
I'm not jealous. I'm envious. Jealousy is when you're worried someone will take what you have. Envy is wanting what someone else has. What I feel is envy.
Wow, he's right.
All right, first and foremost, all honors and praises and glory belongs to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wahavakar Kwadash. The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. His Son's name is Yahweh Shai, in who I reverence. Honors to the apostles that are in the Holy Spirit and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the few, the very few brothers and sisters listening and also learning. All right. You got to stop with a bad mind. All right. Stop with that bad mind. Okay. Stop with the envy. Right. You may have been like that when you were in the world. When you come into the truth, you shouldn't be like that. Right? You see a brother excelling in whatever he's excelling in righteousness, then you should be happy for the brother. You know? But we're living in a world where, the scripture said the love of many will wax cold. And basically this lesson is going to be about every brother has their measure, their gift, and going into envy. Right? And we're going to start off with this word. You know what? Start off with John first, right? Going to John 1. Come on now. You got brothers that have been in the truth for a long time, but they can't get rid of those spirits. These are spirits that jump on men. Let's go to 1 John 2 and 15. Alright. But that's the thing, Yahushua is very, very long suffering. We got to be patient. Even when we see these things, we got to be patient with our brothers. Let's go to 1 John 2 and 15. This is my favorite scripture. Love not the world. You know why? Because it's straight to the point. It's decisive. Love not the world. Right? You don't love it. You don't say we don't have an affection for this world, especially the longer you're in this truth, right? Because now you're in this truth, you're looking at the world with different eyes now, not the same way you first looked at the world. Because when we first woke up to this truth, we were serving the world. We weren't serving Yahushua. So don't love the world. Love not the world. Neither the things that are in the world. So we don't love this world. Neither do we love the things that are in this world. Right? If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So what would this refer to? Verse 16. Right? And it says, if any man love this world, in verse 15, the last of the verse of verse 15, what does it say? If any man will love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So you know a man that loves Yahushua and a man that loves the world. And if any man does love the world, the love of the Heavenly Father is not in him. He's just an actor. For all that is in the world, it's going to tell us the lust of the flesh, which leads to idolatry in so many ways, right? Because it's the flesh that's lusty, right? It's the flesh that's lusty, right? After these particular things, whatever it may be, whether you want to get a nice car, you see someone with a nice car, right? Whether you see someone with nice jeans, bling bling, a nice woman, that's the lust of the eyes and the pride of life, right? Wanting to make it here, that's the pride of life. If you have ambitions here, that's the pride of life. You want to make it here, that's the pride of life. You want to be someone here, that's the pride of life. That's supposed to get stripped away. In no way is a brother supposed to be in this truth. Look, from 2 years to 3 years, no one should have that thought. If you're in this truth, I still want to make it here. Maybe there's a chance for me to excel in this world. If you're thinking like that, you're an enemy of Yahushua. Because this world is anti-Mashiach. And you can clearly see that in the times we're in. And the pride of life is not of the Father, it's of the world. Right? So when you first wake up to the truth, you may have had nice stuff. You still may have particular stuff. But you're not looking at it like, wow. You have a pair of nice shoes. It's just some shoes. They're nice. But it's just some shoes, right? You have a nice car, okay, but you're not taking it with you. Focus on the truth. Stop worrying about what everybody else has. And these are insecurities. These are insecurities. You focus on what another man has, and we're going to get into it. And the world passeth away, 1 verse 17. This rulership, all right, this age, and the lust thereof. Everything you thought was, everything one thought was good here, it's going to pass away. You got people working, they try to work most of their life just to attain a mortgage. Just to attain a mortgage. You got people that do that. Right? But he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. So I'd rather do the will of Yahweh Yahushua and abide forever, dwell forever, have eternal life, rather than have something temporary here. Then it goes and you lose it. Let's go to Matthew 20. We're gonna go into the whole parable, right? The labors of the vineyard. This is Matthew 20. For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is in a householder, right? So if once a householder is okidipis postos, if I'm saying it right, the master of the house, right, which went out early in the morning to hire labourers into his vineyard, right, because he needed workers, and when he had agreed with the labourers for a penny a day is a denarius, right, and he sent them into his vineyard, right, what, to get busy, to get to work, and he went about the third hour, right, excuse me just a minute, the third hour, tritos, the third, alright, partly throughout the day, right, so that's the third hour, okay, and he saw, right, others standing idle, not doing anything in the marketplace, the agora, that's another word for marketplace, and said unto them, go ye also into the vineyard, right, and whatsoever is right, I will give you. So he was doing them the favour, and this is how we got to look at it in this truth. We don't want to be in a mindset, well, I'm entitlement, that sense of entitlement. Yahushua is doing us a big favour. And what's that favour? Grace. Through just this word. It's very simple. A lot of our people make it difficult. You learn the words. First thing, repentance. You feel sorry, you're repentant. Now you learn this word, and if it's in you, you go out, you teach, and you have faith. That's it. Right? And you keep his commandments to the best of your abilities. That's what we do. And he went their way. Right? And again he went out. Right? Excuse me just a minute. And yes, and again he went out about the 6th hour and the 9th. Right? So now let's go into the 9th and 6th hour. See what we can find. The 9th corresponds with 3 o'clock in the afternoon. For the 6th hour of the Jews coincides with the 12th of the day. Right? As divided by our method as the first hour, it is 6 a.m. to us. Right? But Esau changes up the time because he's the devil. Right? Standing idle, found others standing idle, say unto them, why ye stand here idle? Right? And they say unto him, because no man have hired us, he saith unto them, go ye also into the vineyards. Right? And these are those at the 11th hour. Right? Those that came in last. Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, you shall receive. Okay? According to what your labour. So when even must come, the Lord, right? And even is what? A beginning of what? A new day. Evenings when what? The sun goes down. Right? It gets dark. Beginning of a new day. And the vineyard saith unto the steward, call the labourers and give them their hire. Beginning from the last unto the first. Key thing, you do know what was said. Beginning from the last, okay, unto the first. And those that are first here, right, they're going to be last as well. That's another topic. But it said beginning from the last unto the first. And when they came, they were hired about the 11th hour. They received every man a penny. The 11th hour was the last hour. The last workers. They received that penny. But when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more. That's that spirit. Well, we've been in the truth for 15, 10 years. Who does this guy think he is? Who does he think he is? That's that spirit. And they likewise received every man a penny. Right? And when they had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house. So they were bickering. Right? Go with this one, murmured. See what comes up. Going good is all. Murmur, mutter, grumble. Saying anything against in a low tone. Right? They were chatting rubbish. Alright? And you don't want to be chatting rubbish against Yahushua, because if you're looking at what another man's been given, and it's the same penny, and you're doing that, you're murmuring against Yahushua. Basically, what you're saying in your psyche is, well, I don't believe he should have the same, you know. Basically, what you're saying, you don't believe he should receive salvation. Because the penny represents salvation. Right? And when they have received it, they murmured against the good man of the house, saying, we have wrought but 1 hour, but that has made them equal unto us. That's pride. That's pride. And that's entitlement. Right? And that's that narcissistic spirit. They are equal to you. The same penny. Why are they not equal to you? Why? Because they were labouring last, which have borne the burden in the heat of the day. So they were saying, well, we were doing it more hours and we were doing it during the heat of the day. But he answered one of them and said, friend, I do thee no wrong. Did this not thou agree with me for a penny? Right? A penny. And they did take that is thine and go their way. In other words, just get out my face. And I will give unto this last even as unto thee. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with my own? And it is. Yahushua can do what he wants. But you have men that look at other men's gifts and what they've been given, and it's like, no, well, I don't think that. It's lawful for Yahushua to do what he wants. Because they belong to him, and they belong to the Heavenly Father. Is that I evil? Right? Because I am good. Right? And Yahushua is good to his, isn't it? So the last shall be first, and the first last. For many be called, but few be chosen. They were bickering. And yes, the individual had an evil eye, and that's why you can't be consumed by the spirit. And this is what happens when you're consumed by the spirit of this world. Right? And you notice how it says, it's that I evil because I am good. Right? And if Yahushua is good, what's he going to do? Give good gifts. I'm getting tongue-tied. James 1:17. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above. Right? So every man has his what? Perfect gift, perfect ability. And cometh down from the Father of lights, Yahushua, who means no variableness, neither shadow of turning. What's variableness? Neither changing. The Lord does not change. Right? Therefore the sons of Jacob will not consume. He doesn't change. There's no variableness. There's no change. So if a man's been given a gift, that's his gift. You cannot look at that now and say, well, why does he have that? Because Yahushua has given him that gift. Right? Neither shadow of turning. It belongs to that man. Right? And this is where you got a lot of mimicking. This is where the envying comes in and all that rubbish. Is your eye evil? Because Yahushua is good. And he's good to those that do the right thing. So you may be wondering, why does the brother have this? Why did he have that? Because he's doing something that's acceptable in the sight of Yahushua. Yahushua deems him worthy to give him that gift. Well, on the other hand, you might just be acting like a nigger. And you're wondering why Yahushua is not blessing you with these spiritual gifts. Or whatever it may be. Ah, man. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 14. And I want to start at 3. 14:3. Riches are not comely for a niggard. And his riches. And that penny, it was still classed as riches. Because that penny represents, look, that's going to be reward in the kingdom. Right? We're all working for that same penny. Riches are not comely for a niggard. What's a niggard? Someone that's a miser. Stingy. Right? And what should an envious man do with money? Key thing, you give your envious man money, right? What's he going to do? spend it on rubbish. He's going to try to compete with someone else. Well, he's got a nice jumper. Let me get that jumper. Or he's got that Benz. Let me get that Benz. That's what a nigger would do when you give him money, and he's going to be stingy with it. Jump to verse 6. There is none worse than he that envieth himself. And what does it all go back to? Self-reflection, insecurity, low self-esteem. And people with low self-esteem, they project and they look at what others have. And they have an evil eye. And it is dangerous. Out of all the spirits, that's the most dangerous spirit. Why was Yahushua given up? It actually tells you something somewhere in Matthew's. Due to envy. Yes, due to envy. Because the Pharisees never had what Yahushua had. They had the law, but even within that, they were going off. They were not doing healings. Except from Paul and a few others that received Yahushua. But the rest of the Pharisees, they were not doing any miracles. Right? They were trying to detach you from Yahushua. So they were envious of him, what he was doing. But there is none worse than he that envieth himself. You envy yourself. That means it's ready something up with you. Yeah, the scriptures talk about humility, but to envy yourself, that's something else. If you envy, this is the recompense of his own wickedness. That's the recompense of your wickedness. Not the brother next to you. Your own wickedness. And that's why you have to have a good mind towards Yahweh or Shai, because you never know what brothers are like when they're by themselves. Can they actually look in the mirror? A lot of individuals can't do that. Look in the mirror. Know who they are. They can tell you who everybody else is, but they don't know who they are. Personally. This is why you've got to remove that spirit. Pray over it. And this is the recompense of his own wickedness. If he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. Yeah, you have men that go out there. You got men that do videos, but it's like an unwilling spirit. And at the last, he will declare his wickedness. In due time, you see it, and you're seeing it now. As I'm speaking, you're seeing now men doing videos with a wicked, evil, demonic countenance. You may watch a little bit, and after 2 minutes, I'll switch off now. Because they're consumed by the world. They never put off the world. And it is a process. But do it now while you have the chance. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. And at the last, he will declare his wickedness. In other words, it's going to be shown. But envious men have a wicked eye. And we ain't even went into this word yet. The envious man. You had men. It may not have been clear straight away. But you had men. They were always. That's just the way they were. They never put that off. And there's a lot of it going on. And envious men link up with other envious men. Right? They do smear campaigns. Right? But men that do that, what happens? The Holy Spirit gets what stripped from them. Because that's called a malicious soul. So you wonder why men can't really do the work, because what? There's something going on within themselves. Go into this word envy. See what comes up. Envy, jealousy, rivalry, invidia, envy, hate, malice, you see. Feel envious towards, admire, envious. So there's admiration there as well. A lot of people that do that, they secretly admire you. Okay. Set one's heart upon a feeling of grudging admiration and desire to have something that is possessed by another. That's a wicked ass spirit. Spite and resentment, seeing success of another person, personified. Key thing, personified. It's Yahweh that's personified him. Right? It's like when you come to this truth, you know when you have a gift, you really work on it, you're working on that gift. It's you have your own little unique spirit that Yahweh has given you that no one can really emulate. Right? And it does make you stand out. But with you standing out, what does that bring? Haters. You're always going to have haters, especially if you're doing something right. You're always going to have haters. So-called, I don't like using that word success. I don't like using that word. Right? Of another personified as one of the deadliest sins. And it is one of the deadliest sins. Because what does it lead to? Every other sin you can think of. Every other sin. Right? It's wicked ambition. Right? When you're envious, it causes you to be ambitious in a wicked way. Right? And it's sad because it's like, brothers, you may have a gift. You got brothers, they have gifts in the truth and so forth. Look at Yahushua. Look at the apostles. They had gifts, spiritual powers. But what was happening? It was causing a lot of envy. So it's sad we're living in a world where you have all these gifts. You really want you want to share it. But you have to share it with the right people. Because not everybody's grateful. Not everybody likes that. You have bad mind people out here. Let's return back to Ecclesiastes 14. Right? And 8. The envious man have a wicked eye. Okay? Eyeing up your stuff. You may be even doing a live show. You may be doing a live show and someone may even be looking in. What's that? What's that? What's that? Fucking niggers, man. Salakia, let me calm it down. These are you grimy ass niggas in the truth. Grimy niggas in the truth. Certain things I don't even mention. And a man may say, well, why you always bring certain things. There's a time where certain things need to be mentioned. There's certain things don't need to be mentioned. But you have men like that. You may be doing a live show, doing a video. It's silly because you should be able to flip that camera on, but you can't flip the camera on, show people certain, but you can't do that. Right? You can't do that because you got bad mind people out here. You have something nice, you can't show people. They want to take that. Right? You got men that do that, looking in on what you have, whether it's a spiritual position or a physical position. Oh man, who raised you, boy? He turneth away his face. Why are you turning away your face for? Because you don't want no one to notice that you're envious and despiseth men. Dangerous. The spirit of Judas Iscariot. Right? A covetous man, his eye is not satisfied. What's the difference between excuse me just a minute. What's the difference? Go into that word covet. See what comes up. Covet. See what comes up. Covet goes into inordinate, desirous to obtain and possess. Right? Avaricious, which goes into wickedness. Covetousness, desirous. It says miserly, stingy. You already went into that. Greedy, covetous. Right? It's someone, and again, it's someone that there's patterns to it. It's someone that takes, but they hardly give. So there's patterns to this particular behavior. All right. So that's someone that's covetous. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion. So it's not like Yahushua has not given. If you claim to be in the truth, well, that means Yahushua has given you something. He's given you a portion, whatever that portion may be. It's just you just have to know, right, what your portion is. And what does that go back to? Self-analyzing. Right? Excuse me just a minute. It all goes back to what? Self-analyzation. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied. It's not pleased with his portion. Because he's looking at another man's portion. And the iniquity of the wicked drive up his soul. A wicked eye envieth his bread, and he is a niggard at his table. Right? You know, climbing over everyone to get the food. When you just say, please, would you pass me that plate? My son, according to that ability, do good to thyself. It always starts with ourselves. Always. Right? And give the Lord his due offering, which is this word. Alright. Is there anything else? Let's go to Exodus 20 and 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Oh man. Come on, man. Are brothers reading the scriptures? As much as they like to talk about, keep the law, keep the law. Well, this is a law, isn't it? Excuse me just a minute. Start at the top. Ecclesiastes 20 and 12. Honour thy father and thy mother, and the days may be long upon the land which Lord thy giveth thee. And again, it could be tricky to some of you, because some of you may not even have a good relationship with your mother and father. Well, the scripture said you still honour them. Because guess what? You wouldn't be here without them. If Yahweh Shai never set it up where your mum and father got jiggy, then you wouldn't be here. So you honour them. Thou shalt not spare me. Thou shalt not kill. Alright? Thou shalt not commit adultery. What's adultery? And guess what? You killing. Why? Because you're envious or you're covetous. Right? Cain killed his brother. Murdered his brother Abel. Right? Thou shalt not commit adultery. Right? Adultery. Why? Because you want what somebody else has. So it all leads to the same thing. Thou shalt not steal. Why would you steal? Because of envy. Envy brings forth. All these sins we're mentioning, that's what it brings forth. Thou shalt not bear false witness against a neighbour. That even happens out of envy. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant. Right? So you don't, even the house, you don't look at your neighbour's house. Oh, I want that. How can I get it? Let me try and get him out. You know, let me sign a partition. These type of things are going on. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's wife. You look at you're eyeing up your neighbour's wife. And we know, yes, King David done that. But not everyone has them sure mercies of David, my man. Nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbour's. Nothing that's of your neighbours you should want to covet. Nothing. This is why you've got to apply the scriptures. Right? A lot of them, they don't apply. And these spirits, and really spirits of the world, it's men that have came into the truth, but they bring these things in the world. So it's like lingering. Right? But the beautiful thing is, Yahweh he already knows who are his. Is it too late to purge away? No, it's not too late to purge away these things. But while you have time, do it now. Right? Ecclesiastes 12 and... Is there anything, when thou will do good, know whom thou doest it. This Ecclesiastes, you know what, let's go to Ecclesiastes 12. When thou will do good, know to whom thou doest it. Oi, this is a major thing. This is what I'm learning now. Right? And why do you think I'm not so accessible when it comes to being out on the highways and byways? Look, we've done that. Right? Every day. I'm talking about every single day. 7 days a week I was doing that. For what? Nearly a year. But then there comes a time where now sometimes you got to I don't want to say take a step back, but analyze things from a spiritual perspective. How was Yahweh Shai moving? Right? There came a time where there's a time where you just have to withdraw. Because the love of men is waxing cold. Right? And when thou will do good, know to whom thou doest it. So that's what I'm learning. Yeah, you're doing good. But guess what? A lot of people are ungrateful in this world. There's a lot of narcs in this world. So you got to know to whom you're doing good to. Because not everybody appreciates this truth. You have more people, they're more in favour with the world than they are for this truth. So know who to... Because many a times I've done good. You may travel... miles and miles and miles, 2 hours, 3 hours, and it's like that same love ain't reciprocated. So you gotta really know who you're doing good to. I'm speaking from experience. Right? You may travel 2-3 hours, even 4 hours. Go out your way. Travel across London or wherever it may be. And it's like you're trying to help someone, but they don't want to be helped. So shall I be thanked for thy benefits. Do goodly to the godly man. Right? So it's be precise, and thou shalt find a recompense. If not from him, because that godly man may not be able to give you something in the flesh, yet from the Most High. Right? And a lot of the times that's a spiritual gift that Yahweh gives. Right? There can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil. Right? So if you feel like you're looking at somebody else and you don't have a particular gift, well, what are you occupied in? nor to him that giveth no alms. And that is a thing as well. Yes, in a physical sense, you give with alms, you help out a brother, yeah, he can bless you for that. And give to the godly man, right? The godly man, and help not a sinner. Okay. You have that a lot of the times where someone may come up to you, please, have you got some money? And you can see this guy must be on drugs. Hold on, you give this money, he's just going to feed his drug addiction. Right? So you got to be wary who you're helping out. Or you can be given to someone that doesn't care about your Yahushua, doesn't even believe in the Bible. Give to the godly man. Help out your brothers and those that you know are sincere. Because you have people that are sincerely homeless. Then you have some people, they just take the money and spend it on more drugs or whatever. Do woe unto him that is lowly, but give not to the ungodly. Okay. Hold back thy bread and give it not unto him, lest he overmaster thee thereby. Right? For else thou shalt receive twice as much evil for unto the good thou shalt have done unto him. And I've seen that. You may say, you know, I'm not going to give him money. I'm buy him a bread sandwich. And he may get that bread sandwich and chuck it back on you. What the F is this? That type of stuff. I remember I was watching a movie. I forgot what movie it was. It was some movie. It was based in New York. Bro, New York is rough, you know. There's a reason why they call it the rotten apple. What's it, the big apple or the rotten apple? That's a rotten place. Right? That is the valley of the shadow of death. You give someone you're not going to give them money, you give them a bread sandwich, they chuck it back in your back. It's the same here in London. So you got to know who you're doing good to, who you're doing well to. Alright? So, yes. Alright? Lord willing, this was edifying. Okay, and these spirits of envy, being covetous, put it off before it consumes you, because that's what it does. It consumes. Alright? So with this, I hope this was edifying. On to the next time. Shalom.